By the end of this video, XYplorer will turn from this to something like this. Before I go any further, I will now show you a labeling of what is what in this UI. Hi, this is Timo Aremann from Benjibyte, where games get made and game dev explained. A series of videos on how to do game development to have in game development a persistent overview of our files and a catalog matching those file system, as well as knowing the status of our files is important, especially if your projects are longer going than a game jam. For example, this icon here is beautiful in its own aspects, but I don't necessarily want to ship it with my own projects. I might want to assign it a CC0 tag, and I want to label it as a work in progress. All of this comes in handy when we also use version controlling like Git, where we get a bunch of metadata and we clearly do not want to interfere with that, and everything we do should be handled outside of the folder. So that's where XYplorer comes into play. So now I will go to my editor, and in here my editor settings, and then my directory where the default path resides. So in here, default path, I will paste in the path of which I use, and I will close it. And then we will jump straight back to our vanilla version of XYplorer. It looks really different from the finished version, and I want to modify it. Right now, we are missing the most important one, which is the catalog. So we will go to Window, then to Show Catalog. It is now stacked below my tree. You might remember the image. If not, let's show it again. And the catalog should move to the right side. So to do this, we will go to Window, then to Arrangement, and I will say the list, the middle part, is centered. Now my catalog resides where it should, on the right side. I have two panes in here, the dual pane mode, which makes sense if I want to move files quickly from one folder to another, but I don't need it right now. I can change it from horizontal to vertical panes, which means I have more screen estate. So right click here, disable horizontal panes, and it is now vertical. And since I don't need it, just click on dual pane, it has vanished. In our address bar, I will now paste in the folder where I want to go to. But before I do this, I should use the mini tree, which means it will not expose all the folders I have and will elegantly only show the Godot for project files folders. So let's click this. It has vanished. So I have to paste it in again. And now I can see the folder. I don't need documents and the folder with my name on it. Before I go any further, you could go one folder up, either by clicking here or this button, and you can click and drag this out there. We want to have in our catalog some stuff. So I would say insert a new category here, like click and tag labels. That's a nice one. Worked from the start, but all the other stuff is not active yet. We can click on here and see the so-called button sets, and when I click on the second, I see the tags, which are really important. So we want this. Here is a new bookmark feature. I want them in here always visible. So right click in here, go to Customize Toolbar, let's select our separator and search for tag. So let's include them. Add tags, set tags, remove tags, and maybe find tags. And I will click on my add tags and I will generate a separator so it will look like it was made professionally. Click on OK, and now we have them included. Let's go into my project folder. So select the icon and now press on any label. We could now try to add more of the categories. So insert a new category here. We want our click and search labels as well as our tags. But as you can see, there is a slight issue here. We can't generate click and tag tags since they don't exist yet. And in our list, they are not available. So right click here and we will enable labels as well as tags. If we want more tags, then we will right click on here or any of these buttons and we will say edit tag list. In here I can now start to generate some like assets, CC0, a new one like blends, and so on and so forth. You click OK, and now we could assign that on any of these files. Let's go to assets, and here we have some files. Let's try it out. Let's right click here, add tags by list, and here we have assets CC0 and blends. OK this. And now when we do another insert category here, we now have the ability to say click and tag tags, as well as the last one, which is click and search tags. We can reorder them as we wish. One of the most important things is to go to File and then Save Settings. I will now go further. We have here our org blend file, and I want to see what is inside that file. But there's no preview. Let's go to our settings. In there we have preview as thumbnail, and all you have to do, for blend files at least, is type in blend, click OK, click apply, and then it should be visible. But it won't be, because if you hover over it, you won't see anything, unless you go in here and say, I want to see thumbnails. And now they will be available. If we want to see them in our details view, then we have to go back to our settings. And in here, there is a thing called, under information, file info tips and hover box. And we have to show hover box. I want to see it even when I'm over the file name. Click apply and OK, and it's done. And when I hover over it, you will see a preview pane. I know that this file is not mine and it should be a work in progress. So click and tag labels. We want to change them. You would expect that you go in here and you will say insert something, but we don't do that there. We go to our tag system and we will configure tags. We'll go back to our settings, information and tags, and here we have the captions and labels. So delete them. You have to select the last one to do the delete. Now the first one will be work in progress. One important thing before I go further, the back colors or search labels are hard-coded to the colors which I have selected here. So if you have custom things, you should slightly shift the color so it will not interfere with each other. Text color we can also change to white, so we have maximum contrast in here. And now we will go back to our Godot, right click here, and we will use our set folder colors and use them on the things which I create here. After we are done here, we could click on apply and OK. And now we could assign them here, but you will see they are not updated unless I hover over them. We have to update the category. Before I do this, I will go to File, then to Save Settings, and now update categories. Same in here, update category, and it has updated everything as we wanted. We will now go further in our mission to optimize the UI. So let's do our customized toolbar, and I will search for my rapid access. Let's add this to the top. Okay. And since we have our mini tree active, we can just click on here and it has generated the rapid access path. So let's go back to our XYplorer example. You can select it and move it just by drag and dropping it into our rapid access. Quite simple and easy. Right now I have on the top a folder with its name not really showing it. So right click on it and rename the bookmark. You paste in the name, then click OK, and now you have the entirety of that folder. Drag and dropping folders isn't working when you use these. You need the real path. So right click on this and say go to real path. These folders you can move in here. If I have a folder or multiple folders which I have to take care of, then I only do this for files which I'll use a longer time. So I will go all the way down, and there I have user buttons. Let's go all the way down to the end of the list. And now I want to think a bit. I don't want to have a lot of mouse movement. So that means I want a new row, and the folders or user buttons are residing on the left side, right above my tree view. So just select it, add it, and now it's included. Click OK. Now we have this beautiful user button. We will modify it. Right click on there, add it, and we will call it .projects. And if I want only the name, no button, I would have to write in text and colon and click on OK. Now I have the button changed to a text button. Edit it. I don't want the text. Just go to projects and I click OK. And I'm now greeted with the question mark. We need icons. So we will browse. It is jumping straight into our icons folder. I have set up a couple icons which are below in the description, and I will now move them in here, and they look like this. This is for my Godot project, and I will click on open, and now that's done. I will click on OK. Now we can see the icon, which is quite cute. I will copy the address of my project files, right click here, edit, and in here we have our fire click on mouse down, which means means we have a triangle which is looking down, and we have the ability to just assign here the folder. We will click on OK to test it out. And now when I click on it, we can see it is jumping straight there. I also might want my currently active project, right click on it, copy path, let's get back, edit. And if I want them under my left click, I go to edit, click enter, copy it in, and that's that. I also have the ability in here to make a separator line with this symbol here, and I click OK, OK, and it's done. We also go in, copy that path, for example, to use different clicks. So I can use my CC0 assets as another folder if I just use my right click. There I have a totally different view. All the way down Windows taskbar, I have a lot of nice programs. So I will make a right click on here, for example, my Godot, right click on that, and I will go to here and I will search the quick launch folder, Windows E, copy and paste. And now I have a lot of great programs. For example, my fork Git client. So let's drag and drop it in here. Let's use Risem UV, and I am seeing right now that it is not using the icon. So let's find out why it isn't working. Open the path and use the exe file directly. Is that working? Yes. Delete the other bookmark. Let's get back. Maybe the world creator and 3D code, which will probably have the same issue as my Risem UV. So the same thing, open the path, select your exe file and move it in. This looks ugly and I don't like the shortened names in here. So you go to rename bookmark. Let's close this. We don't need it anymore. And in here you just press spacebar, click OK, and the naming has gone. Now, whenever I select a file, I only have it on there, but not on the entirety of the row, which is a bit cumbersome and hard for me to see what is selected and what is not selected. To change this, I will go to my tools. There is a customize list, and in here we have a full row select. Now I can really easily see what is selected. We can go a step further, which is alternating row colors. So we'll go to tools, customize list, and there we have show grid. It will not show itself right now unless we change some settings. So let's go there to our settings, and there we have our under colors and styles colors and grid. Let's use a dark gray, click OK and OK this. And now we have alternating rows, and that's great. Let's go back to our assets, and it's really cool to see. Maybe I don't like the color, so let's go back to it and change the grid color to lighter gray. Okay, and that's that. We want dark mode. Just press on this button and it's done. So what else could we need possibly? Well, we could go to tools, then to our customize list, and there we can experiment with stuff like show folder sizes. That's nice, but we could also say right click here and show folder sizes. So the menu bar is not necessarily needed all the time. So show folder sizes is nice because now I can see how big are the files in the folders. And the next program which I use a lot is everything from Voidtools. Just click and drag the exe file into here. Rename the bookmark. Maybe, yeah, let's keep it there. Customize toolbar. We could of course go in and say, yeah, please move it up to my new row. Click OK, and now when I click on it, we will see this. I could run an index process as administrator, or I could install the Everything service. I will run the indexing process as administrator since Everything 1.5a is in alpha. It will scan all the files, and it is showing me millions upon millions of files, which is overwhelming me. I want to change this. So let's go to Tools, Options, and now we will go to our results and hide results when the search is empty, and we will apply it. It's looking much cleaner, much better. So why are we using everything in conjunction with XYplorer? Well, we can connect these programs in the searches. Under context menu, we have commands where we can throw in some stuff. So if you have installed your XYplorer, it will look like this, but I haven't done that. So what I have to do is right click on my XYplorer button here, go to settings, and we will go into this folder here. So let's do this. In here we have our XYplorer and we will copy the path to that. Let's go back and we can then copy paste it in here. Wait a second, that's not what we want. We have to change it up a bit. Sorry. We want the XYplorer, so copy the path and just paste it in here. And now it will look like this. Paste it in, apply the open path, which we will also change a bit, so it should be this one. Just so you know it looked like that. And it needs to be changed up too. So right click on here, copy the path, make sure that your quotation marks are intact and paste it in. Apply it and you are done. Last thing to do is the search tags inside of everything. Let's make it big. We should edit this and there we have our add columns. And there we will search for tags, include this, click OK, and now we could start searching it. If we want this, you would have to find your tag.dat file, which is residing under our data folder. If you have installed it, it would look like this, but I haven't done that. So let's go to data. There is a tag.dat file. Let's select this and say copy path. And now I will change this a bit up. And if I made it correctly, you should now see underneath the status bar of our XYplorer, and it has worked. Whenever I search the tags, I just paste in this and it has instantly worked. I will even go to my bookmarks and add it as a bookmark. Just click OK and it's done. And now whenever I want to search it, just click on there. If you go in to your projects and you change anything here, like say this is an asset CC0 and you want to find it, you will not find it until you have saved your settings. You need to update it and press F5 in here to see it again. And that concludes XYplorer setup for game development.